You know, as we take in this beautiful morning alongside of Lock 40 of the equally lovely Trent Severn Waterway here in Ontario, Canada, generally that will see a lot of looper boats going by. This morning, case in point, is the first boat that we saw passing by with the AGLCA, the America's Great Loop Cruisers Association, Burgee on the bow of the boat. Now, most of the time at this time of year, we are in the first weekend of July 2021, due to the border being shut down and all that problems. American boaters aren't allowed to come up this way just yet, but there's hope that maybe later this month they'll open the border again. So that said, we would normally, beginning of July, start to see a lot of American loopers coming up here. For those of you unfamiliar with the loop, the America's Great Loop is a circumnavigation of the east and central part of the United States, basically following the route of Florida up the intracoastal waterway, northbound, not intercoastal, intracoastal waterway, north to roughly, well, actually New York City, boom, in Hudson River. There's a couple different routes, but the general course is Erie Canal to Oswego, New York on the southern shore of Lake Ontario, cross over to Trenton, which is mile zero on the start of the Trent Severn Waterway, and then they'll find their way up through here and then up to Georgian Bay, through Georgian Bay, around to Chicago, Illinois River, Ohio River, either go down the Mississippi or go down what is called the 10 Tom Waterway and pop out in Mobile, Alabama, which is the Gulf of Mexico, and then back to Florida, and either cut around Florida, across Florida. So depending on the variable routes that one can take, it is upwards of 6,000 miles for that trip, and most people take a year or more to do that trip. Great name!
Thanks.
This is our first looper boat of the weekend. Barefoot Shoes, great name. Now, having researched that at length, Anchor Girl and I were firmly on board, no pun intended, with doing that trip ourselves. 2 years ago, we were really, we were digging it, man, and looking into it intensely, and so much so that we were actually considering what kind of boat that we would need to do that trip. Yes, this boat technically is able to do it. However, it's got a restriction because it's a gas powered boat. Gasoline on the side of the water is not readily available in a few long stretches, but so we had considered toyed around with diesel boats and this and that, and then talking to some people who were underway doing the loop that actual year or had done the loop in gas boats. We discovered that it's possible. So, you know, we got reinvigorated and thought, you know, that would be great, take a year and do that trip. However, like I say, sometimes influences come from the least likely sources. Okay, before I go any farther, this is tethering the little pussy cat. Can you see him there? He's out here checking out bugs and stuff. So, you know, we had watched a number of videos on YouTube, of course, of people who are doing the loop, and unfortunately, their perspective was swaying us towards like, oh, that's beautiful, and the sunrises and the sunsets and the calm waters, and it looks blissful and heavenly. So that is what was driving our thoughts.
Look at all the ucky water.
What? You silly Willy? So after watching those videos and being heavily influenced towards doing that kind of trip, we stumbled upon a YouTube channel with a couple named Sam and Rev, who are actually on their second time around on the Great Loop right now. They've done the entire loop once, and now the last video they showed, they were coming up through, I believe, the Welland Canal. Sorry, haven't watched the one just yet, but they're back up and cutting across and carrying on. Now they are on a Carver aft cabin motor yacht, Big boat, beautiful boat, perfectly designed and laid out for a couple doing the Great Loop. So all is well in that regards. However, and you guys are going to shoot me for this, they're giving it, and I mean, this is awesome. This is beautiful, and we're really grateful that we have seen all this, because it has influenced our decision. Is that they show the nitty-gritty and the truth and the dirt, and it's not always perfect. I mean, we have our eyes open to that. We know that the weather's not always going to be good. You're going to get stuck in storms, or have stuck in wind, or whatever, that, which is fine. The hard part that we have wrapping our heads around is getting up at 5:30 in the morning continuously, because you have to fight the tides, the currents, and the bridge openings, and yada yada yada. You guys have followed our trips. You know that we're not early risers. We are not motivated to go. We did that in the past, and you know what? We're lazy boaters. So we're happy just to get to a place like this, and then, you know, spend a day or two, and then carrying on to another place. To be on a schedule, and to know that you have to be at a certain spot at a certain date. Because remember, when you're doing the Great Loop and you're going over the course of 12 months, you are going to also be confronted with something called the seasons. Of course, one cannot come through here in the winter because, first of all, it's closed. Second of all, it's frozen, so it's not conducive to boating. So one has to get through here in the summertime, and then down to the Chicago area, generally around Labor Day, because you have to go through a number of locks. And of course, you're going to be fighting the weather. The weather's going to be chasing you, because after Labor Day, anybody knows who's on the Great Lakes, Labor Day beyond, weather always becomes iffy. So you don't know where you're going to get. So you cannot say, well, you know, we're going to hang around till the middle of October before we start heading south. So people generally want to get through Chicago and then onward and southward before the weather starts to turn. And then conversely, you don't want to be traveling during the hurricane season, which is June to November. And I'm pretty sure. So you don't want to be traveling during that time of year, because it's prone to hurricanes, and a lot of insurance policies won't cover you, or you're going to pay a big premium. So again, you have to time everything, and then, you know, as you're coming up the eastern seaboard through the intracoastal waterway, or even heading out the outside of the Atlantic Ocean, you're going to be following the Gulf Stream heading north. And so, like I say, you're weather dependent. So there's a lot of times that you can't go out, or you can't, tides and so on and so forth. It's just, you know, it's too much math to keep straight in my head. So Sam, Rev, we really applaud what you guys are doing, and thank you so much for opening our eyes to the realities of the overall scope of this project. But we're not going to do it, not right now anyways. Stay over here with me. Yes, little pussycat. Oh yeah, look at that. There we go. See? So nice to have him with us. He's such a joy, and such a good boating little pussycat. Come here. Anyways, so don't get despondent over the fact that you're not going to see beautiful cruising videos from us, because we're not going to be doing the Great Loop right now, because we have come to the conclusion, since we don't want to do that, I still want to do lots of cruising as much as possible. So what the plan is now, going forward, we are going to do a number of mini loops being something that we can knock off in, let's say, a 6-week to 2-month timeline throughout the summer. So leaving from our home port on Lake Simcoe and heading to points yonder. A few of them come to mind. One of them is going to be Chicago, man. I would love to see Chicago. We've never visited Chicago, and I've seen enough of it online, and something about that toddling town really attracts me. So it would be nice to go there, and if nothing else, just go through that first lock and then go up the Chicago River and just see all the sights, and maybe spend, you know, a few days there and then turn around and come back. But of course, you know, spending a lot of time getting there, because if you look back earlier in this video, you know that we don't travel too fast or too well. So Chicago would be an awesome trip. Another one would be more local, would be, and when I say local, closer to home geographically, would be heading up around here through Georgian Bay, Tobermory, and down to Detroit, the greater Detroit area where we bought Bugaboo 4 back in 2010. Since then, it's been 11 years, man, and we keep talking about it every year. We would love to go back there. So hit that, Lake Erie, and maybe come the Welland Canal, and then across Lake Ontario, and then back up the Trent Severn Waterway. That would be a great trip. You know, Put-in Bay. I know all the guys in Put-in Bay are going, hey, Paul, Put-in Bay, Sandusky, Ohio. Don't worry. Yes, we would be there. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, so do that. That's another mini loop. Another one would be going to Ottawa, Montreal. If you remember our 2019 Epic Boat Cruise 2019 series, we got as far as Trenton. The hope was that we would go up the Rideau Canal, but again, timing. We weren't able to do it, so we came back. So that would be an awesome trip down the Trent Severn Waterway, Kingston up to Ottawa, and then Montreal, and then back through the Thousand Islands. That would be pretty epic right there. One other one, absolutely, definitely, 100% top of my mind would be New York City. Because you know what? If we can do it there, we can do it anywhere. Yeah, so again, that would be Trent Severn Waterway to the aforementioned crossing over to Trenton to Oswego, Erie Canal down to New York City, and yeah, the Big Apple. I would love to see it. And still, after 20 years, haven't gone to the World Trade Center to pay our respects, which is something I want to do right from day one. So that would be an awesome trip. And then wherever else we go to, the whole Erie Canal, go down Buffalo and back. So what is that? 5 years worth of boating right there. And then whatever else comes to mind, the North Channel, who knows? There's lots of different places to go to, lots of different influences. So we will see. So that is the plan moving forward. And yes, we'll take the little pussycat with us too. And yeah, so that's it. So anyways, I'm going to leave it at that, and I will leave a link in the description as well to Sam and Rev's channel. Check it out. Watch it right from the get-go. They have quite a few videos. We had a chance to not really meet them, but it was sort of like ships passing the night a couple of years ago. It's like a video of them coming by. We passed each other at Lock 43, Swift Rapids, 2 years ago, I think. So yeah, take a look. Highly encourage you to watch it. Even if you're not thinking about doing the Great Loop, it's entertaining to see what they get into. And we hope to meet you guys in person someday, because Anchor Girl keeps saying
I'd get along really well.
What, say that again?
We'd get along really well, I think.
Yeah, you and Rev.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, Sam, fair warning, man. If these two get together, bring lots of booze. I know I will. Yeah, so anyways, I'm going to leave, like I say, I'll leave a description in their to their channel. Take a look at it, see what they get into. It's entertaining. And yeah, that's about it. Like I say, I'm going to shut this one off here. Beautiful day, inspiring for us to be here, and inspiring to do a lot more, because we are planning bigger and better things to come. Absolutely. I'm going to take you guys along with us. So that's it from a very acceptable morning along the Trent Severn Waterway, and we will see you in the next one. Cheers.